Sweata,
Yes, sir.
what's good?
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me, dog.
Appreciate you being here,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
Excited to have you, man. Very interested in your story and your journey.
Absolutely.
Another New York native that we
Uh-huh.
got in here.
For sure.
What's your side of town, bro? What's your
Hey,
borough?
man, I like to rep the whole thing as a whole because New York as a whole really did a lot for me. I was born in Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
raised partially there, and I moved out to Long Island, and yeah, that's my city too, man.
Yeah,
The towns, man.
that's real,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
So a little bit of a couple of different influences,
For
cause
sure.
I'm not from New York, but I always hear, bro, like if you go to Brooklyn or you go to Queens or you go wherever, like it's like you're going to different states essentially.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
For sure.
for sure, bro. So like just that upbringing, starting off in Brooklyn and moving around to like the different boroughs, like how did that influence like you musically and just culturally?
I think it just exposed me to a lot more. Brooklyn, you already know what I was getting from there in the
Hmm.
2000s and the early 2010s. A lot of hip hop. I think the Troy Ave era. I caught
Mm.
that. The late Fab era. All of that. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of that hip hop. But once I moved out to Long Island, it was a whole different experience for me. A whole different like just place in general. So they consumed a lot more pop music, maybe some R&B, but just stuff I didn't listen to. Honestly, everything too. Hispanic music,
Hmm.
and that damn near just opened my mind up to the possibilities, and it also showed me that the world is a lot bigger than where I grew up. So
Word.
it really influenced my writing and told me, hey, there's a lot of people to cater to, not just the people you grew up with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's real, and I feel like not I'm not trying to say anything, but we have a tendency to get stuck in boxes, and then if
Absolutely.
we're in one of those places that's like a mecca for music,
Yeah.
it's like you can blow in your city, and then
Mhm.
it doesn't matter anywhere else,
Exactly.
you know. So I'm glad it mattered to be
Mhm.
somewhere else to you.
For sure. Even like parts of the city, you can blow. If I would have stayed in Brooklyn and continued making that type of music, I wonder if I ever would have penetrated
Yeah,
where I ended up going to high school in LI. So, um, yeah, I fully agree with you.
for sure. So like just to dive into it, man. Like so you're signed with Mega and Ninth Wonder.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about that, cause that's a little bit of a different situation. And
For sure, man. I credit Ninth for discovering me, absolutely, because he found me as a writer. He
hmm,
found me as a producer and a writer, but working with him, it was more just writing records over his beats. He was my professor, so after
hmm,
class, we would try to play him records and all of that.
word.
And I only took 1 year of college, but that 1 year changed my life because I got to meet him, play him some joints, and after a while, I started writing records and pitching records over his beats, but
Hmm.
R&B records, not really rap joints.
Word.
And he's super boom bap. So I was thinking in my head, yo, we gonna get these records off to this R&B person or that R&B person. But after a while, he was just like, man, this is too good to give away.
Yeah.
And I never saw myself being an artist, but he kind of opened that up in my head, and
Hmm.
that started this journey that we know as Sweata. Fast forward down the line, he introduced me to KP, who's my manager now, Kwan Prather,
Hmm.
and that's how we kind of got over to Mega because KP started off at LaFace.
Yeah.
So I guess he made the call to LA,
Hmm.
said that he had something special, and LA believed him. And yeah, the combination of those factors led me to where I'm at right now.
That's dope, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's a hell of a process, hell of a journey.
Yes, sir.
Um, Real question though, what made you choose the stage name Sweater?
Man, it's there's not a lot of things better than like a nice hug, bro. And it's not a lot of music that gives you that feeling of an audible hug, like
Mm-hmm.
some warmth and everything. So there's a story, but that name came from Ninth Wonder, and I used to rock a bunch of nice sweaters and everything. I still do,
Mm-hmm.
but it just stuck. You know what I mean? And it's fly. It's cozy music, man.
Yeah.
Real comfortable.
See, all right, bro. See, like I wasn't gonna get into it, but
Uh-huh.
now that you said it, I definitely got to because now
Okay.
I'm talking demographics, right?
Okay.
Because Jadon is tall
Oh,
and
that's how.
slim, and then Paradise is also the
Uh-huh.
tall, but he's probably like the more the
Yeah,
stocky built one,
for
and then
sure.
we got you. You know what I'm
Knows,
saying?
man. Teddy
And that's
bear.
what I was about to say. You give him that hefty love of
For
music, don't it?
sure, yeah. And it's
Yeah, bro.
like I said, there's a vacancy
Yeah.
in all facets, not just appearance, but
Mm-hmm.
when we come down to the topic of discussion, when we come down to the content of the music, it's
Yeah.
not a lot of records where I feel like as men, we're speaking to the women. It feels like we've been talking about them a lot
Yeah.
in R&B, and the heyday of R&B people like to talk to was guys in the rain. You know what I mean? Our OG
Mhm.
Usher was in the rain. He was like, he was selling it to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like we haven't been treating our shorties right
Mm.
in our music. So yeah,
Mhm.
from as a writer, but also as an artist specifically, that's something that I really want to open up.
Word. So kind of dive into like your creative process for me. Like what is a typical day in the studio look like for you?
The typical day in the studio is very long because I'm a real studio rat. But honestly, it's feeling, man. I produce as well, so it might be me just jamming out, having a little jam session with some other musicians, or
Mhm.
it might just be a beat pack from Ninth or whoever, and I'm just scatting ideas. But usually, a day in the studio, we're gonna get a few records out of it. Um, and yeah, I'm super hard on myself and very strict on the records I even let leave the session.
Yeah.
So I never know what a day is gonna look like, but it's always feeling and living
Yeah.
now. I'm learning as time goes on that I need to live a little more life because
Hmm.
I could just be walking through a street or and run into somebody, have a convo, or a nice convo with an Uber driver, and that'll inspire records.
Yeah.
So throughout the day, I'll just type one-liners that come to mind, or if I see something that I feel like is interesting, then we're gonna write it down and it'll make its way into a song.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that line about living, bro, because I feel like when we get locked into what we actually want to do, we forget to live. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What? It's grind time. It's all of that.
yeah.
No team, no sleep, and whatever. But
Shit.
you know what I mean. I do lose sleep on this career thing, and music
Yeah.
does take a significant part of my life. But I've learned to slow down a little bit, and because if I run out of stories, what am I gonna send out? You know what I mean?
Real.
Yeah,
That's real. I appreciate that, man.
absolutely, man.
So like you got a new single coming up, right?
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about that.
Hey, man, we wrapped up the project in Atlanta. It was one of the most exciting experiences because it's the first city I've lived in that wasn't in New York.
Mhm.
So it was just a whole new energy, and that brought in a lot of new records, including my next couple joints. And I don't know if we're gonna deliver it as a 2-pack or we're gonna deliver it one by one, but there's a joint that's super special to me called "Have You Ever Been to Brooklyn?"
Word.
And it's me taking Shorty to my city through my lens. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's not like I come from a city that is very like we're very happy to be from Brooklyn. So a lot of my OGs, figurative OGs, because I haven't met them, but like Fab and I know Hov, we all have the New York anthems, but this is more like here's a day in the life with Sweata.
Yeah.
Just make your way to New York. These are my favorite spots and all of that, and I think it's a jam for sure.
So what if I could ask you, like, if you could remember off the top of your head, what do you what's probably one of the coldest lines in that song to you?
The thing is, it's the whole first verse, honestly.
Word.
Cause it just sets up for the story because I start off like you've been to Tulum, I know you've been to Turks and Caicos, I know you've been to Dubai, I know you rock all them turbans and shit, but you still Christian, you know that. I know you've
Mhm.
been to Cali, I know you've been all these places, but you haven't been to where I'm from, and
Mm.
I feel like this is the city that'll change your life. It's a different kind of flashing lights for real.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. That's real, man. I'm excited to hear it.
Absolutely, man.
When we looking
Hey
to
man, really, really, really soon. We just got
Hey.
it cleared. It's produced by Jazzy Faye.
Hey.
Man, ladies and gentlemen. And right now we're trying to figure out something special for it. And if we can make it happen, it'll be real, real soon. Before the spring for sure.
For sure, man.
Mhm.
Well, hey, man, dropping before the spring, hopefully, and like,
Yes,
look,
sir.
look, we got Jazzy Faye, another Jazzy Fizzle production, shizzle,
Hey,
baby.
come on. And in the
No,
meantime, my single right now, 8 p.m. by
8
your
p.m.
side is out everywhere. You can stream it on SiriusXM, Pandora. Yeah, like it.
For
Let's
sure.
get that in
But
your
t-
rotation.
tell us about 8 p.m. just a little bit more. Like, break that track down.
Man, 8 p.m. came from real life, like writer's block. It was the first record I wrote after just a myriad of things happened at once in my life. But Ninth brought me the beat. It's a flip of Make It Last Forever by Keith Sweat,
Mm.
Teddy Riley, Jackie McGee, and it's kind of a new life to the record. You know what I mean? We're talking about heartbreak, but it's also pleading. You know what I mean? Because I feel like we kind of act like we don't be on shorty phone like, yo, why you playing with me like this? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? We all got that one joint that was like,
Yeah.
yo, I'll come back to you. Like, I'll be home by 8. I'm gonna make it right. So Yeah, that's where APM kind of came from.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's that. Okay, I'm gonna act right music.
Yes, sir. Act right music.
I'ma act right.
I like that.
I'm choosing to act right.
For sure.
That's what's up, man. But shoot, bro, let the people know where they can find you.
Absolutely. You can find me on any platform at One Sweata, Sweata. And stream my music here. Sweata, Sweata.
Straight up, there it is.
Let's do it.